So I was actually talking about this about a month ago. How I think it was like the title of it was like, would you like to see an R-rated Godzilla movie or something like that? And I said something about Takashi Yamazaki trying to or wanting to remake, um, one of the older uh Godzilla movies, but with modern technology. Um, and yeah, it looks like he might have the green light to do so. So apparently, Toho greenlights new Godzilla film from Godzilla minus one director uh, Takashi Yamazaki. So that's actually pretty cool. Um, Toho announced that Godzilla minus one director Takashi Yamazaki will return to the helm of a new Godzilla film. In a post to the company's official Godzilla account on Twitter, it revealed that Yamazaki will return to not only helm the film, but he is also writing it and producing the visual effects. In another video, Yamazaki stated, I'll be directing the new Godzilla film. Please stay tuned. No details were shared about what Yamazaki has planned for the movie, or if it will be a sequel to Godzilla minus one. Back in January, Yamazaki did indicate that if he were to do another Godzilla movie, he wanted to do a sequel to Godzilla minus one. He also shared that the next movie will likely feature a key enemy monster. Um, Translated, if I were to direct the next movie, I would like it to be a sequel to this one, but since there have been two standalone Godzilla movies in a row, I think the next movie should include an enemy monster. Yep, yep. And this is what we were talking about him Godzilla versus Hedorah, which probably would be. I said that if you're going to add a monster, it should be a well-known one. Mothra, um, Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah. Someone that people like, even if they're not a fan of Godzilla, they know who that monster is. By looking at because it's pop culture. Hedorah is kind of more of the not really obscure, but less known. Because you don't, they're not put on the pedestal like Mothra is, or King Ghidorah is, or Mechagodzilla. So I would think, having one of those three, ones that are easily recognized and well known, that would probably be the best to start with. And then he can go on and make a, you know, Godzilla versus Hedorah movie if he wants. But, really, you want to pull people in, and people who don't even know really a whole lot about Godzilla will see those characters and be like, oh, I know those. Okay, okay, I remember that when I was movie when I was a kid. So I think it'll really pull people in, and it also introduce the kids or younger people who haven't really wanted to watch like the older movies because they don't like the idea of a dude walking around in a Godzilla suit, you know, on a miniature, on a stage with miniatures. You'll get to see these characters, but in you know CGI or hopefully some practical effects with some CGI thrown in. But as for what monster it might be, Yamazaki provided more color during a New York Comic Con appearance at the Godzilla vs. NYC New York Comic Con 70 Years of the King of the Monsters panel. As reported by Kaiju United, during the Q&A session, he was asked if you can remake or see any previous Godzilla movie be remade, which would it be and why? He responded, Godzilla vs. Hedorah. I think that for its time, Hedorah was a very cutting edge kaiju, and thinking about the type of visual expression we can do with technology and how far it's come today, I'm imagining how it would move and I think that would be really cool, a really cool remake. I agree. Godzilla minus one was a huge hit at the box office. The film reportedly had a budget of less than 15 million and had nearly grossed 100 million worldwide. That's crazy. I mean, the number itself, but the fact that it's a budget of 15 million and they made 100 million, that's a lot of money for them to, as a profit. Um, that's crazy. The film is the largest grossing live action Japanese film to hit North American theaters of all time. Really? Seriously? It easily crushed the previous record holder of The Adventures of Milo and Otis, which grossed 14.1 million when it was released in 1989 and re-released in 1990. Milo and Otis. I get to be Otis. That's a given. Um, no one's gonna get that reference at all. No one's gonna get that reference. In fact, it took less than a weekend to seize the record. Seize the record! After opening weekend of 111.4 million in the beginning of December, it topped 14.3 million on its first Tuesday. Just a regular Tuesday. The film currently sits as the second highest grossing Japanese film in North America of all time, behind Demon Slayer. Wow, really? Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. The movie. Wow. I didn't even know there was a Demon Slayer movie. I didn't even know there was a Demon Slayer movie. The box office grosses are likely to increase as Toho is releasing the film into theaters today. Um, so yeah, I think that's really cool. Um, Taking some of the old Godzilla, the monsters, and kind of not remaking them, but staying true to what they are, but just with modern technology, not for a modern audience, with modern technology. But I would still like to see some sort of, um, practical effects. I'd still love practical effects, especially like when they're moved and used in R-rated movies. I can't stand when like blood and this and that is all just CGI and it just looks so tacky. Back in the day, back in the 80s and early 90s, using practical effects. So when heads were exploding, things were actually exploding. They had a mock up, a model of a dude's head, and on cue, boom, the thing explodes. Fake blood, fake everything, just all over the place. And the way it's shot, it makes it look, good. I mean, you could tell if you really if you pause the film, if you pause the movie and really look at it, you can clearly tell that it's not them, that it is just some sort of plastic, clay, or whatever mock-up of them. But because in the movie it happens so quickly, and the transition between them and the whatever's exploding is so flawless, it looks really good. So if a person's and their head's about to explode, you see the person like this, and then you see a mock up of them, like of clay or whatever, and they're also and then just boom. And because it's so seamless, it looks like it's one take, or when it's actually just two separate things. And I love stuff like that. I love the practical effect of it. Like with Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one with Johnny Depp when he gets killed. How you see the with the blood and everything. That's a practical effect. How it was coming up from his bed. Yeah, there's a trick to doing that, and instead of using some kind of crappy looking visual effect, no, they actually did it. Well, sort of. Uh, it's just a matter of, how they film it, or whether, having the room kind of turned upside down so that way, when it comes down and or whatever, and then they kind of film it to where it looks like it's straight, at normal, but it's really upside down. So it's practical effects, and I love it. So to see a Godzilla movie with practical effects, but with some CGI thrown in to make it look better, I don't want an entire landscape that's CGI. I can't stand when they do that crap. You have a movie that takes place in an area that actually can exist, and it's the entire thing is CGI. It's why do that? Why waste more money just, for CGI when you can just go shoot in that, get the shots you need, film the things you need, and just add the CGI from there. Like, why make an entire landscape, on, CGI? That's stupid. It's just wasting more money. So, but, yeah, I thought Godzilla looked really good in the movie. Despite obviously being mostly, pretty much all computer. But, yeah, take a monster people know, King Ghidorah, um, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, and, you know, bring them in. It'll stir up some hype for the movie because, again, even if you're not a fan of Godzilla, you know who Mothra is. You know who Mechagodzilla is. Um, so, and then you see it, and then you remember a time when you saw it, and then you take your kid to see it. Now they're introduced to these characters, so it's a win-win. And then they can become more interested and watch these older movies and get to know the monsters more. And then when Hedorah comes out, they're not going to be so clueless as to who Hedorah is, or Rodan, or the Destroyer, or something like that. Um, but that's just me. That's just me. You know, they can do it however they want. If they want to throw Hedorah in there and have people have absolutely no clue who he is. But for me, I think it would be best to add one of the big three. I guess I could call them the big three. Everyone knows who they are. So, um, but yeah, it's cool that they're getting to do another movie, even though it's not like a remake of an older movie, but being able to take one of the monsters and kind of add it into like the sequel. Since they're having a few previous just standalone Godzilla movies with no monsters, just him. So it'd be cool to see that. Anyway, what monster would you love to see? Would you prefer one of the big three, or would it be one of the more obscure ones that people don't remember? Let me know. But that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.